Already live. So, anyways, I'm just doing some research, just waiting for people to jump on the stream. And yeah, man, the music industry is getting really crazy. I don't know if some of y'all are aware of that. Right now, I'm looking at the iTunes Top 100 USA chart. I guess maybe I got to be more specific and say hip hop. But right now, currently on this chart, you can see that Hiss by Megan Thee Stallion is number one. Nicki Minaj, Bigfoot at number two, with some of these other artists that I am not really familiar with, but somewhat. But right now, we're just going to focus on the hip hop. And the reason why the name of this video is called The Secret Agents is because I'm starting to believe that there are secret agents in hip hop. I've seen multiple occasions where they're promoting certain artists that don't seem to really be selling that much. Okay. There's a lot of things that are going on, but they go on to say that they're the biggest artists in the record industry, such as Megan Thee Stallion and Taylor Swift, right? That's what they keep saying. So right now, what I'm gonna do, and I want to know what some of y'all think about this. Okay, let me see if I gotta be more specific and put in hip hop. I rarely check the charts anymore. But we'll see, what's interesting is that Hiss is still at number one right here. We're on Apple Music, iTunes, whatever it's called now. We also got Nicki Minaj up in here, right? You got Gunna up in here. You got Drake up in here, of course. But what was really interesting is that I heard that Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro were saying that their song is number one. But now what I find interesting is that I'm finding it nowhere to be found on the hip hop list. And just give me a moment. Let me just go to his iTunes real quick, or his Twitter. Let me just see what category he has this under. I believe he has the single facts under hip hop. Yeah, hip hop rap, which is just crazy. As I said in the other video, I'm not mad at the Ben Shapiro track. I would just say that Ben Shapiro is not going to be our savior for hip hop. I don't need Ben Shapiro being the one to say, hey, you know what? Rap needs to start being conscious now. I think that Ben Shapiro is the last person that should be telling us that. But let's just see here. Yeah. So I don't see them on the list. If I do a control find, I'm not finding it, which is really weird. But when I Googled it, it says, people ask, what is the number one song on iTunes right now? When I Googled it, Tom MacDonald Facts comes up. Now, let me tread carefully. I don't want to play any of the music because the last video that we did, we played the music and everything got flagged. But if you guys go to Twitter right now, they are just pushing the heck out of Megan right now. She's just everywhere. And it just lets you know if the machine has just infiltrated the industry, which, of course, we do know that it has. We do know. You know why we know? Because she's on Rock Nation. That's why. And in case, again, if you guys don't know who Rock Nation is, it's Jay-Z's company. Okay, so I've listened to the song. I'm sure we've all listened to the song. And it sounds like she just has the same cadence on every single song. I don't hear her switch the flow up. I was going to say flip the flow, whatever. But I don't hear her change her style. I don't hear her even try to sing. All the beats sound the same. I don't even think that the production is really all that dope. I think that everything she has sounds like the same old stuff. And I will say on top of that, it makes me wonder on a deeper scale. Did she sacrifice Tory Lanez for her success? Who knows, man? Who knows? Did she? Because it seems like she had to make some sacrifices to get to the level of fame that she's at and the level of stardom that she is at. Does she have a little bit of talent? Yeah. I'm not gonna knock her for that. I'm not gonna say that she can't rap. Yeah, she can put some bars together, I guess. I mean, I heard that she's not even her own writer. But yeah, she can rap. Okay. But my point is, on top of that, is that's it. So, okay. So she's trending on Twitter. There was this one thing that I saw. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, I think this is it right here. I mean, even the promo, like, okay, she's even on the news getting the promo from ABC, NBC, all these news stations, because I guess she's announcing that she's going to release her new album for the summer.
I feel like I've never been able to be outside doing my own thing during the summer, like since like 2019. So this is gonna be the first time that I drop an album on time for the summer. I do want to give the hotties the Megan Thee Stallion experience. This year, the Hot Girl Summer Tour is gonna be 2024.
Yeah, so she's just getting massive promotion, massive this, massive that, right? And let me just pull this up again just for the record, because I know we talked about it on another video, but, you know, sometimes these videos get out there, sometimes they don't. But I just want to remind y'all that Megan Thee Stallion is on Rock Nation. And in case you can't see that in the top left-hand corner, let me just scoot that down right there, and you can see right there, or this one on the top left-hand corner, that she's on Rock Nation, which is the same label as Jay-Z, or the owner is Jay-Z. And basically they control the whole music industry. All the big artists you can pretty much think of are on this label or company or whatever it's called. So I'm not surprised that they're pushing the narrative. Now, this is what's really interesting, is that we all know for a fact, those of us that have been following the music industry, we know that Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro's single Facts, I believe, is selling on iTunes for $1.29, right? So in order to pull up that price, I'm going to have to go to iTunes, which I don't feel like doing all that right now. But you guys get the idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys shop on iTunes, right? And then what was really interesting is that she dropped her price down. Megan Thee Stallion dropped her price down to 69 cents to be able to compete with Ben Shapiro. And like I said, once again, man, we need to get this message out here. So if you guys can help out with the likes and the subscribe so we can get this out here. I mean, we want to like really get it, you know, we really want to do the real journalism and let y'all know what's up. I think this is it right here. Let me pull this one up real quick. Give me a second, y'all. Make sure it's on the screen where you guys can see. And this is something else that makes me want to get into this, is where I'm talking about Vivek. Is that how you say his name? Vivek Ramaswamy. This goes on to the other thing that we're talking about with, of course, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, who we're seeing that's now going to the Super Bowl, right? How many of y'all put your money on Kansas? You see, this is the point that I'm making as far as the music industry, the system, the powers that be that are fabricating the music business. And real quick, while I'm on the subject, let's just go to the views. We're going to come back to this Drake thing. Let's go to the views of Facts, Ben Shapiro, Tom MacDonald. It's actually a Tom MacDonald song. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I was doing research on Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, last guys that I thought would be talking about controversy in rap music and how the gatekeepers are consciously making it so people cannot hear their message and what they're talking about, and how rap music is talking about nothing but trash. So it looks like they knocked them down. Now, this is what's so crazy, yo. If y'all see this is just doesn't make any sense to me, that this is what's trending supposedly on YouTube, right? They pushed Tom MacDonald down to number 3. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are aware that there is a beef or a fake battle. I actually think a lot of this stuff is all fabricated. I believe that the battles between Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion are fabricated, because look, just not too long ago, if I look this up, not too long ago, didn't her and Nicki Minaj just do a song together? Hot Girl Summer featuring Nicki Minaj. Yeah. So came out in 2019, so not too long ago. I mean, wasn't like yesterday, but I mean, it wasn't that long ago either. So she came out with the Hot Girl Summer with Nicki, and now all of a sudden, a few years later, y'all are beefing. I mean, now anything's possible. Anything can happen. We all know that, right? But my point is this, man. We got this what appears to be a fabricated battle, in my opinion. I don't think it's really real. I think it's just to push record sales for both of them. How in the world is Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj above Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro for Facts, when we could see in every metric that they are beating them out? Facts, as we see right here, that just came out a few days ago, not even really a week ago, is already at 8.3 million. Now, I would say 8.3 million, which y'all can see right there, is pretty viral in a few days. I mean, that's like you're averaging nearly 2.5, 3 million views per day, right? So you got that, right? Then we got Nicki Minaj, who has 3 million views in one day. I mean, like, do people take the time to read the stats? Probably not. But let's just take a look right here. Let's look at this, where we could see that Facts has nearly more millions. I would say, who knows by today if it's at 10 million, where Facts alone has more views than both of these videos combined together. And yet you're going to say that Megan Thee Stallion's trash ass rap is still at number 1 on the trending charts? I don't get it, yo. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on here. Now, I'm pretty sure, like I said before, out of those 8 million views that came in for Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro, I would not be surprised if at least half of that, or let's just say a quarter of that, doesn't even have to be half of that, could be a quarter of that, is probably downloading the music. I know just off of the video alone that we did on this topic has reached over or nearly 50,000 people. And off of those 50,000 people, I've seen thousands of comments come in where people have said, thanks, I'm downloading the album now. And I will tell you this, I have no beef with Ben Shapiro. My goal has always been to debate Ben Shapiro on hip hop and why he feels that rap is not music. Now, let's be real, Ben. By this point, you have to appreciate rap. I mean, we're going to get into the other video later that he just did with Tom MacDonald because I want you guys to hear some of that. Hopefully I can play some of that without it getting, copyright, because they were dropping some jewels in there and they were talking about the, Illuminati. They're basically talking about that. I mean, just to put it in simple words, I mean, I can go into all these details, how they explain the metrics and the matrix, and they explain how they're lowering prices and doing certain things in the algorithm to try to throw people off and make you think that this is what's really hot. But really, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. We can clearly see. Now, I don't want to play the video because I don't want it to get flagged at all, but let's just do a quick little survey. Let's just look at the metrics as far as likes and comments. And speaking of which, can y'all please help out with the likes and the subscribes and the comments on this video, because that helps get the algorithm going. And like I said before, as we can see, there are powers that be. There are forces at work that do not want these messages to get out there. I think it's completely obvious that we are now in a war of not just what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. And I don't want to say other words because I don't want anything happening to this video. I can't name other countries as of right now, but you guys know what I'm talking about. We know about the wars that are going on, right? And let's just go ahead and say that there's also another war, I believe, going on right here in America. And you know what that is? You know what it is? It's the war of information. That's what it is. And that's what they're doing right now. They're basically trying to control the information and they're controlling the message. Look at what they're doing to basically everybody who's out there that's speaking some type of truth. Everybody that's out there that's speaking some type of truth is getting censored. It's even getting to the point to where it's been happening in music. It's been happening in movies. But now it seems like it's getting to the point to where they're now even doing it on the internet. Like the internet ain't even really telling the truth no more. I mean, it is, but like I feel you're going to find more real journalism such as myself online than you're going to find on the news. Which, let's not even get into the topic of Trump and how he had to pay the $83 million to this woman who said that she's been allegedly, can't say the word. But then she went on MSNBC, which I should play a clip of that, and started saying, they said, what are you going to do with the money? She said, I'm going to help women and I'm going to help build women's rights organizations. And they said, yeah, how? By doing what? She said, by shopping. Shopping. That's what she said. She said, by shopping. That's how I'm going to help women. And I said, I can't believe that this is actually being reported on the news, on a major news network, a major news network, which will bring me to the other point later that I want to make is Taylor Swift a psyop? Because I know we've been hearing a lot of this. This is going to be a conspiracy theory video. So I hope you guys are tuning in. And thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. I'm going to go through some of the chats and comments in a minute. I just want to make sure I get these ideas off, So what were we doing? Oh, yeah, we're checking the metrics. That's what I want to do. I want to make sure that nothing plays because every time you play a little snippet, it gets flagged. And don't worry, Megan, I'm not going to play your trash verse. Your trash. I was going to curse, but I'm going to try my best not to curse on this stream. But I'm not going to play your whack trash raps. You don't have to worry how you're off beat. I mean, there were parts where you were falling off beat. And I'm going to tell y'all this too. I think it's almost gotten to the point where I don't believe every Twitter account is legit anymore. I don't believe that those are all fans. I believe that some of those Twitter accounts out there are created by record companies and they're just bots that are just tweeting. Because it's like, how could people be this dumb? How could they be this dumb to think that this is real music, first of all, and then second of all, to say, oh, we're the number one single when you can clearly see that there's other rap music that's out there right now that's taking you by storm to where we know that you recognized it because when you first dropped your single, it was at $1.29. And then once Ben Shapiro and Tom MacDonald started going viral, you dropped the price down to less than $1. And every time we retweet it or we mention that or it said that from your record companies and your popular Twitter accounts, you always delete the post. I feel like I'm still kind of getting used to Twitter myself. I never really cared for Twitter back in the day, but now I see that it is, it's somewhat important, but sometimes it's like, man, I don't know. Because this whole game of just deleting tweets, you're tweeting something, you're trying to go out there and spread your message and talk your trash and say that this is the number one single and this is what's hot and this is what's rap music and this is what it is. This is the fire. You going out there and you pushing all that and then you go and you delete it. Because why? Because someone like me came in and questioned it and showed you, no pun intended, showed you the facts. It's so ironic that they come out, Ben Shapiro and Tom MacDonald come out with the song called Facts. And basically they're talking about facts of what's going on in the record industry. And they're showing you that facts that they're destroying the algorithm on purpose so people don't hear their message because their message, by the way, is also completely independent. And like I said, anybody out there who's an aspiring rapper or producer, you should be paying attention to what's going on right here because this is showing you the independent game. It's almost showing you that in order to sell records nowadays, you really have to be in rotation. And the whole thing of record sales and how many records were sold and if they really went platinum or gold or diamond is being, judged off of what basis. Like first I thought it was based off of downloads, like those that are actually downloading. So I'm hearing two mixed speeches on this. Maybe you guys in the comment section can clear this up for me. But I'm hearing two different categories of how they judge what stays on the Billboard charts and what's really number one. One thing I'm hearing is that basically they're saying that they only care about iTunes and Amazon, which makes sense because they're checking the scans through Amazon and iTunes. Those are the only two that SoundScan or whatever company they go by now is calculating the sales. But then I also hear some other people say that no, they're going off of streams. So it's like, what is it, man? Is it the streams or is it the downloads? I would imagine it's the downloads because the downloads show that now you're making money. And as Tim Pool said, one download, I believe, equals to about 10 or more streams, somewhere around that. I don't know. My math could be off. But like I said, I really did not expect Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro and them to be the ones to tell us that this is what's going on in the music industry. Let's check the metrics. Tom MacDonald featuring Ben Shapiro, facts, up against Megan Thee Stallion, Hiss, the beef video with whatever her name is, Nicki Minaj, right? I mean, I don't mean to disrespect her like that, but you know what I mean. Okay. So what we're doing right now, we're just looking at the top 5, really top, whatever. I mean, who's in the number 4? Oh yeah, Ice Spice. Let's go to Ice Spice too, which is just ridiculous. She has a song called Fart, y'all. Can y'all believe that? A song called Fart. Like I said, we're not playing any of the music. We're just looking at the stats right now. So all these songs and videos came out within the last week, which is really interesting, right? If you really think about it. Everybody just dropped music all the same day. And again, you can't expect the record industry to know that this was going to happen. Let me not even mention that Benny the Butcher, who's one of our favorite rappers, and shout out to Benny the Butcher because he shouted out beatGrade. He also dropped the same day that Shapiro and MacDonald dropped their song. So a lot of rappers dropped last week. Now, I'm not sure who this is. And then we know we got Chief Keef and everybody else down here. What's really surprising is that Justin Timberlake is all the way down here. But, I saw his Saturday Night Live performance. I wasn't really that impressed. I like Justin Timberlake, but I wasn't that impressed. It just sounds like the same old thing. Okay, so let's just focus right here. Ice Spice, Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, facts. And it's really interesting too that if you also think about it. Now, I don't want to say anything that sounds sexist, but you know what I also find very interesting is that all the top rappers right now are female rappers. Is that a coincidence or does that make sense? And that the only male rappers in the top trending charts are 2 white males? I find that a little interesting. But I think they do deserve it. I think they have the following. Tom MacDonald got about like 3 million, probably 5 million in total, all social media accounts. I haven't studied him that much, but I'm pretty sure he's got over 5. I think just YouTube alone, he has like what? Well, I mean, I guess we could just go to his channel right here. Yeah, he's got like 5 million subscribers on YouTube. So he's already doing his thing. Ben Shapiro got like over 10 million followers. So the two of them together, I believe they have that part of a following, which I want to get into later about true record sales. Taylor Swift, don't worry, you're coming up next. And we're just talking about the business on that end. So if we look at the metrics, I keep saying the matrix, but you know what? In a way, it's all connected. Facts right here has over 8 million, 8.5 million pretty much. It says that it's number 3 trending on music for YouTube, but we know that that's probably not true. As we speak, it's getting hundreds of thousands of views, and it has over 96,000 comments and nearly 500,000 likes. That's some pretty good stats right there, man. That's some pretty great stats for doing this on your own and not having any record company behind you. So like, this is my point, y'all. I hope you guys are paying attention to this. This is actually a moment in the music industry history that we should be paying attention to. If you can do it independently, why not? Now, I'll get into the whole radio station and all that stuff later, why that's important, but very difficult if you don't have the machine behind you. Why? Long story short, because the machine is paying for those spins. Let's get into the other stats. So basically, what do we have here again? Yeah, we got over let's just go ahead and say 8.5 million, because I'm pretty sure it's there. There's always like an algorithm that needs to catch up. 8.5 million views, nearly half a million likes, and about 96,000 comments and counting. Right? Hiss. What do we have here? We got, over 500,000 likes on Hiss. And this is Megan Thee Stallion, by the way. And she has 7 million hits on YouTube, which is very interesting because it felt like they were up a little bit higher than that. But that's okay. Okay, and then she has about 43,000 comments. We're just looking at the metrics. But overall, we can see that Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro so far have beaten out Megan Thee Stallion, except for the likes. Now, could those likes be fabricated? Who knows? But that's the only metric that I see on this video that's outperforming Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro. Now, let me go to Nicki Minaj, Bigfoot. Diss to Megan Thee Stallion. Number 2 trending on YouTube, supposedly. Right here. Number 2 trending on YouTube. And let's see here. 3 million. She's promoting her concert in Vegas coming up. And she has 63,000 with 130K likes. No way possible should this video be trending above Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro. Do y'all see the conspiracy right here that I am talking about? Not to mention that a lot of people were mad because Nicki Minaj gave Ben Shapiro props for the song where she said not bad. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, it was a report that was done, I believe, by The Hill. Yeah, right here. So where he says right here that Nicki Minaj congratulates Ben Shapiro on #1 track, saying not bad. Now, I already saw the tweet, but she was getting a lot of backlash for this. A lot of people were throwing shade at her for saying like, oh, how are you going to, support a white supremacist? And then I seen other videos come out, which I'll talk about later. Because like I said, man, there's a lot to cover here. I seen other videos come out where they said, oh, well, I don't believe that Ben Shapiro is a white supremacist. Now, if you ask me, because I have studied Ben Shapiro, I believe that he is. But do I think he's racist? Nah, I don't think he's racist. There's no way that he could have did a rap song being racist. I mean, I don't know. Is there? But I feel like he might be coming around a little bit because his interviews today and the way he's performing and the way he's acting today is definitely different than how he was acting years ago. So maybe he's changing a little bit. People can change. But do I think that his race is more superior to the other races as he believes? Yes, I do believe that he believes that. And can he still do a rap song doing that? That is a discussion that needs to be talked about. And this is why I say any of y'all out there that are watching that have a contact to Mr. Shapiro, please make the connection for us. Let's get this debate going because I don't hear people asking these real questions. And the other thing I really want to know is at a time like this, where are the Chuck D's? Where are the Talib Kweli's? Yasin Bey, yes, he did speak on Drake, thankfully. But what I do want to know with Yasin Bey is what are your thoughts on this Ben Shapiro thing? Now, I've heard, because the reason why I bring up Talib Kweli is because I've heard him, I think, go back and forth with Ben Shapiro on Twitter. I don't know if they really had any exchanges, but I've heard Kweli talk about Shapiro and say that he's actually a white supremacist. So I would love to know their thoughts. And you too, Kanye, who just was in the news for snatching a reporter's phone yesterday at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which I don't blame him. Hey, if you're going to go up and ask those questions, be prepared for the repercussions. But then again, also Charlemagne said, well, why didn't you yell at that homeless man that was yelling at you, talking about you ain't God and all this and that, and saying that, I think he even called him Satan and said something like that, which we can go into that maybe a little bit later, because that was kind of interesting. Didn't really report too much on that. Kind of tired of hearing all this drama with Kanye getting harassed in the streets. It was like too much. That in a week, maybe you just need to stay home. But then again, maybe he's out there in the streets because he wants that attention, right? Because why else would you be walking down Hollywood Boulevard? Most celebrities of that stature don't walk down Hollywood Boulevard. I mean, if you are going to walk down the street, that's like the last street that you would probably want to walk down is Hollywood Boulevard if you're famous. So I don't know. Maybe he wants the attention. But the point I'm making here is that Nicki Minaj got slammed for saying, hey, you know what? It wasn't bad. Not a bad song. So they're having their little back and forth, right? They're having their little back and forth. But my point is basically, Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro completely blew this song out of the water. Oh, and speaking of the water, let's go to Ice Spice Fart. Should we sound the alarm on that one? Ice Spice has a song called Fart. Yeah, she has a song called Fart, yo. And she's up for a Grammy. I think she's up for like 2 or 3, maybe 4. I don't know. I know she's up for at least 1. Best New Artist. But I'm not sure what the other Grammys that she's up for. But can we remember that Ice Spice has a song called Fart? Now let's keep in mind this too. Y'all ever saw that movie Idiocracy? You guys got to see that movie Idiocracy, because it seems like every year it's starting to become more real, that movie. She has 3.5 million views, 172,000 likes, and 14,000 comments. I think for an artist that's at her level, that sorry if you couldn't see that. I think an artist that's at her level, right? That is trending, that is up for Grammy nominations, and these are her numbers. And to be honest with you, I haven't really heard anybody say anything about Ice Spice in the last I don't know, what should we say, 6 months? Maybe more, less, give or take. I haven't really heard anybody say to me, I mean, you know, I don't really hang around that type of crowd, but I haven't really heard anybody say, hey, yo, you heard that new Ice Spice? Have you heard that new Ice Spice track? I haven't really heard anybody say that. I think that we can all agree that this is being very fabricated. She's on, what label is she on again? She's on 10K Projects, which is owned by Universal, which is also down with Rock Nation, which is also Def Jam, which is also, I believe, Nicki Minaj, and who knows if it's Taylor Swift as well. So do you see the story, the pattern that I'm making here is that Universal pretty much owns everything that is related to music. Mainstream music is really all under the umbrella of Universal. And if you guys don't believe me, go look at some of my other videos where I do breakdowns of Universal Records. Maybe I'll just have a video coming up where I just specifically talk about record labels. Maybe that needs to happen, right? Because it seems like a lot of y'all are very unaware of what's going on in the record industry. But yes, talk about fabrication. Ice Spice. You think you the whatever? Fart. No, you think you the fart. I gotta say, y'all, is this like, I don't care. People, oh, well, that's kids' music. That's kids' music. No, this is stupid. Do y'all remember hearing music like this back in the 90s that was this stupid? No, we do not. No, we do not. Even when we were in our 20s. When we were in our 20s, who do we have that was out there? I think around that time, Eminem was just coming out. I don't think that Eminem, Slim Shady was stupid music. I think you can go back to listen to the Slim Shady LP, EP or LP. You can go back and listen to the Slim Shady today and be like, Yeah, you know, love or hate Eminem. Whether you love or hate him, I mean, I don't think there's too many people out there that hate Eminem. I think Eminem has like reached that status now where if you don't like Eminem, you're kind of a hater. I mean, I can understand that you might not like his new stuff, but if you don't, because I don't really like his new stuff either. That new Doomsday that he put out was trash, which I talked about in the other video. But I will say this, though, that Eminem is definitely a genius level lyricist, which I think a lot of us can agree with. You can go back, listen to the Slim Shady today. You can go back and listen to it, and you could say, you know what? He has some bangers on there. You can go back and say, you know what? He's a genius. You know what? I like how he put those lyrics together. That's pretty dope. We could still appreciate the craft to this day. I don't think it really had a time period. Whereas Ice Spice, the song that she just put out 5 days ago is already trash. Look at the numbers, YouTube. Now, I understand some songs, some singles are going to do better than others. But let's be real, man. Since Munch or whatever song it was that she had, has she really done anything else since then? I don't think so, y'all. The numbers right here speak for themselves. So as she should be down on the list underneath them. Thank God and thankfully they didn't put her above Tom MacDonald. I guess if they did that, that would just be too much, right? That would just be too much of a conspiracy. But there is no way, as we look at this list right here, there is no way why Nicki Minaj should be above Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro. There's no way why she should be. As a matter of fact, let me just see if it's my algorithm. Let me refresh the page and see if it's still saying this false lie. Yep, it looks like it's still there. So my point is this, man. There is an infiltration going on in the music industry, which I'm sure we've been aware of, right? Those of us that know what's up with rap. And by the way, can we get the likes up, the comments up, the chats up, you know, the subscribers up, because we need to get this message out here. Because as you guys can clearly see, as we're looking right here, they are trying to suppress messages. And who would have thought that Ben Shapiro, an openly Jewish man who lets you know that he is very proud of his heritage. It's not like, oh, we have to guess. Like, wait, is he Jewish or is he not Jewish? No. He clearly lets you know who he stands for and what he represents. To the full degree, which I respect on that. I think more of us should be that proud of who we are and where we come from and our ancestry. I think more of us should be like that. Like I always say, I am always surprised that every time I go to Africa, I do not see black people from America there. I mean, I do, but you can count them off your hand. It's like for every Caucasian tourist I saw in Egypt was like 10-1 to a black person from America. We do not study our own history and our own heritage. So I have to give respect to somebody who is that proud of where they come from. But who would have thought, when you turn the tables around, that an openly proud Jewish man would tell you about the conspiracies going on in the record industry ran by the Jews? Can I say that? Can I say that on YouTube? Yo, there's nothing wrong with what I said. There was nothing racist with what I said. It's how come every time you bring up these topics, people say, you're racist? Well, you're a racist, man. Because you can't talk about that. You can't talk about Jewish people. That's racist. Oh, but you can have a man say that rap isn't music and how it's black culture. You guys rob each other because that's part of black culture. And then goes and makes a song mocking and making fun of all those people. And you're not going to say, there might have been some slight racism in Ben Shapiro's verse. And he did it jokingly. But like a lot of people say, or a lot of smart people say, there's a lot of truth in jest. Okay, so who would have thought that Ben Shapiro would be the one to try to come and lead us to the promised land in rap music and say, hey, you know what? I'm making money off of compound interest. Do y'all even know what that means? Look it up. Look it up, man. Compound interest. He said, yo, you're blowing your money on strippers and cars, and I'm making racks off of compound interest. Damn. Can more rappers talk about this? No. More rappers can't talk about this. Why? Because even Minister Farrakhan, even went up and said that there's people that try to figure out how to break themselves out of the matrix, break themselves out of the system, and that there was obviously a plan in place because the music industry ain't ran by us. And they don't want us to become powerful. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about everybody that wants to emancipate themselves. They do not want this message out there. But they say, hey, you know what? Talk about the strippers, talk about the cars, talk about the drugs, talk about the mental illness, talk about your other thoughts of depression and how you use drugs to overcome that depression. Go ahead. Yeah, man. Rap about all that. But if you're talking about compound interest or making money off of your assets or buying some real estate or investing in yourself and your business, nah, man. Nah, we don't want you rapping about that. Nah. Like, that's not even going to get played on the radio. Which brings me to the other point of it's almost like the machine is set in place. And the reason why I say this is such a great example, and thank you guys for the likes and the subscribes and everything. Like I said, man, we want to get this message out here because this is the time to tell the truth and talk about what's really going on. So I just want to say thank y'all. I hope you guys are having a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the world. Let me say this, man. It's almost like in order to get to the top of the charts, you have to be played on the radio, right? So then you're getting played on the radio constantly. Everybody's bumping that song. Everybody's listening to that song. It's on the radio. It's on the strip clubs. It's in the grocery stores. It's at Starbucks. It's at the laundromat. It's here. It's there. It's wherever you are in the world. You're hearing the song. You can hear people driving by. It's playing. You hear people getting on the train. They're playing it. It's everywhere, right? It's all over social media. People are dancing to it on TikTok. And by the way, TikTok is the new radio. It's not really a radio. Now the radio stations are playing what's hot on TikTok. It used to be the other way around. It used to be TikTok was playing what was trending on the radio. Now whatever song picks up trends on TikTok is what the radio stations are playing, right? To where I almost feel like now they're paying TikTok to make the trends, to make the dances, like the Beyonce, the getting cuffed up tonight or whatever it was. It was just like, yo, how that was just trending all over TikTok. Ironically, right before her tour. Right before her Renaissance tour. Come on, yo. I'm starting to say, yo, are these coincidences? Are these coincidences? We're going to get to the Mos Def and Drake part in a minute. Are these coincidences? Are these coincidences? Yeah, we'll come back to that. So, yeah, man, I mean, I'm just looking at the trending in case you guys are wondering what this is. It's like, this is what's trending right now, supposedly. Okay, check it out, man. Check it out. You got to get radio play. Do you understand? And this is what I mean when I go into my theory about the secret agents that are in hip hop. That's why we have the Men in Black. You know, you remember the movie where they freeze the thing, they show the thing to your face and they freeze you and now you forget everything. Oh, is that what the record industry did? They just froze everybody's mind and made you forget what real hip hop is. And then the only reason why they did the celebration at the Grammys was because they had to. Let's see, which I'm sure we can all wait for. We all can't wait for, right? Let's see what happens at this year's Grammys. Let's see what happens. It's this weekend, right? We got to cover that, right? And like I said, don't get me wrong. Getting a Grammy, getting an Oscar is great for your career. Because you know why? Because now you can charge more money. And like I've heard other people say, of course it's nice to get a nod. It's nice for people to give you an award for your achievements. It's nice to be recognized. I get it, especially by your peers. That's the whole point of the Grammys. But now it seems that the Grammys has turned into a bought and paid for list of people that are on certain record companies. And if you look at a lot of these artists that are going up against each other, whether it be acting in movies or it be film and television or it be the music industry, a lot of these artists that are going up against each other, if you guys do your research, they're all on the same companies. Like when people were so upset that Barbie didn't get nominated for all the nominations that they wanted it to, but it still got nominated. I think it got nominated for like movies, screenplay, special effects or something like that, costume design. So they got some nominations up in there, and they're probably going to win some, obviously. But then again, it's like, why didn't Barbie get any nominations? I think one of the actresses did get a nomination from, or The Color Purple, I'm sorry. I think one of the actresses did get a nomination for The Color Purple. But if you guys do your research, they're both on Warner Brothers. You know what I'm saying? They're both on Warner Brothers, man. So it's like, hey, we win at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Megan Thee Stallion wins. Ice Spice wins. Nicki Minaj wins. Doesn't matter. You know why? Because we're all on the same label. So at the end of the day, you know who wins? Universal wins. That's who wins. It's Universal. Universal don't care. Whose records are you going to buy? Are you going to buy Megan Thee Stallion's record? Are you going to buy Nicki Minaj's record? Or are you going to buy Ice Spice's record? Whose record are you going to buy? You know what? I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to get paid regardless of who you buy. Who cares which one gets the Grammy? Of course, it'll be good for them. It'll be good for Megan Thee Stallion if she got the Grammy. It'll be great for Ice Spice if she got the Grammy. But you know what? Me looking at it as a record executive, I could care less. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I'm getting paid off of whoever wins this Grammy. Y'all got to start thinking how the record industry is thinking. Now, I know that a lot of people are not going to go and do their research. Like somebody was telling me, oh, believe me, he got money. He got money. How do you know that that rapper really got money? You know how many rappers I know that were asking to borrow money from me that were famous or that are famous? How do you really know that that rapper got money? And just because somebody ain't famous, how do you know that they don't have money? I mean, are we still in a time, especially with social media, are we still in a time where people think that what they see on TV is actually real? Are we still in those times? And thank you again for the likes and the subscribes. Let's get the likes and get the subscribes out so we can get this message out there. I appreciate y'all. Because like I said, man, as we can clearly see, that's the premises of this whole video, man. This whole video is basically the industry is trying to control the algorithm. They're trying to control the algorithm. Like we've reached a point now where they are clearly aware that people do not watch television anymore or listen to the radio that much. Like I said, when do I listen to the radio? I listen to the radio when I'm doing research. That's when I listen to the radio. Because I want to see how many times I hear Drake on the radio. I want to see. I might even do a list of that. How many times did I hear Drake on the radio today? And how many times did I hear him on the same station at the same time? 21, can you do something for me? You switch through all the radio stations and you keep hearing that on every single station, right? And that's what I'm talking about, these gatekeepers, man. These men in black who work in the record industry, and they just zap your memory of all the real hip hop. And they say, nah, that's not, oh, she's the best to do it. She's the best. Did y'all forget Lauryn Hill? Did y'all forget Salt and Pepper? Did y'all forget MC Lyte? How about Queen Latifah? Oh no, Megan Thee Stallion's the best to do it with her line of her poo. You know, I can't really say the word, but you know the punani, whatever. I don't think that's a bad word, right? Her punani. Let's just say punani instead. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Her punani is the best. She might get managed by Kris Jenner next. That is like the most trash bar that I think I've ever heard, yo. That's the most trash elementary. Just yeah, that sounds like something that a kid wrote. Like that bar was horrible, and it went offbeat. It wasn't good, and it makes me really wonder, like, why is she at this level of success? It seems like this level of success didn't come for her until she got supposedly, allegedly shot by Tory Lanez. That's when I started hearing about this. I mean, I remember she had the Ratchet Bougie Bad song. Okay. Yeah. All right. It was all right. I mean, not my type of music, but I remember hearing it. And I was like, okay, cool. And then what happened after that? After that, then she got shot. Tory Lanez went to jail. There was the whole court thing. There was his dad yelling at the courtroom, and Jay-Z and Rock Nation. I'm doing all that because is Tory Lanez on Rock Nation too, or maybe he was at the time. I don't know if they dropped him, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, now I'm starting to get it though. Now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense because Megan Thee Stallion's on Rock Nation too. So maybe his father did reach out to Jay-Z and say, "Hey Jay, can you please help out with this?" And Jay-Z's just like, "Nah, man, you know, which I get. You know, y'all are adults, man. You know, like what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to hold your hand? I can't teach you how to act. I can show you, but hey, man, it's up to you." What's that saying? You can lead the horse to the water, but it's up to the horse to drink the water. Bars. Yeah, man. So my point is that there's obviously a suppression that's going on in the music industry. And we can see by right here with Nicki Minaj at 3 million, Megan Thee Stallion at 7 million, and Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro at 8 million, yet Facts is at number 3 trending on YouTube. Whereas we go over here to iTunes, Apple Music, and we don't even see Ben Shapiro and them on the list. But we see Megan Thee Stallion at the number 1 list. But you know, it's really weird because I went to Ben Shapiro's Twitter today and I saw that he said that they're still at number 1. So I don't know where they're getting their stats from or where they're checking. Let's see here. I think it was a post that went up earlier today. Yeah, right here. Or this was just tweeted a few hours ago. Ben Shapiro is about to be a Billboard charting rap artist at that. Yeah, so he posted this today. Now, I'm not sure where he's getting these stats from because it looks like they have just changed it. But man, this is weird. This is strange. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Something's going on here. And like I said, I appreciate it, man, if you guys can like and subscribe because I'm going to start doing more of these, man. And I've had people tell me to keep doing more of them, so that's why I'm doing more of them. Even if the algorithm takes the videos down or they get flagged because of music and all this and that, that's why I'm going to start playing less music in them because it seems like they try to take them down after the music gets played. And plus, I can understand why, because I'm basically talking trash about Megan Thee Stallion's music. And if I'm playing Megan Thee Stallion's music and talking trash about it, no wonder her label is probably like, no, suppress that video. We don't want the truth to come out. I think that this is real. I think that Facts is outselling Megan Thee Stallion. I'm pretty sure it is outselling Nicki Minaj's BS. I mean, that BS that she came out with was just trash. Even academics had to say that it was trash, which I'm glad he said that. But you see, that goes back to my point about the music industry having gatekeepers and having, what's it called? PSYOPs. People that are there to do psychological warfare. DJ Academics I think he has some good takes, but I'm starting to believe that he's an agent. I think that Ebro is an agent. And I think we all can agree. I think we all can agree that Charlemagne is an agent. We can't play Charlemagne, The Breakfast Club, because every time you try to play something from The Breakfast Club, it just gets flagged. But I think we all know that Charlemagne is definitely an agent, has never spoke on Meg Thee Stallion's why she dropped the price. They just were talking about, well, so what did you mean when you came with the lyrics hiss? What were you thinking? What inspired you to do that? Oh, well, because, you know, some people are snakes. And I was just like, oh, man. This is like the dumbest interview I've ever heard in hip hop. But I understand you're not really doing it for hip hop. You're doing it for ratings, for the fans, and for clicks. You see, me, I'm actually out here doing this for hip hop. That's why I appreciate the likes and the supports, the comments, the people chatting, the people helping out, the people vibing with us. That's what it's all about, man. Let me see if I could play a little bit of this where they explain the algorithm and what's going on in the music industry. And I think that this talk was so legit because you don't really hear a lot of rappers that are talking about this. And the way they explain the powers that be, they're basically telling you that even if you put out a song, now this is going to the independent rapper, even if you put out a song that's a hit, everybody's loving it, your video's going viral. That's what these two have done. They didn't have no major record company put this out. Now, I'm wondering how he got it out there, because from what I heard in this interview, he was basically saying that he had to go through TuneCore, but then TuneCore didn't want to put it out because of the lyrical content. Now, I'm not sure if it was really because of Ben's verse. I think it was more because of Tom MacDonald's verse, because as I went back and, you know, researched the lyrics, he does talk about the gender equality and the pronouns and all this stuff and that. It's like, it's very, some people would say controversial, which I feel a lot of us are just like, no, if he wants to talk about that, let him talk about that. And let me say this real quick for the record. I would go and download this song if Ben Shapiro wasn't a white supremacist. In my personal opinion, I feel like he's a white supremacist. If it was just Tom MacDonald on the song by himself, I would download the song because I want to help push this message and push what they're doing, because I appreciate their movement and I appreciate what they're doing in the record industry. And I also, on top of that, appreciate that they're documenting the experience. So I just want to say shout out to y'all for that. You know what I'm saying? Ben Shapiro, I'm starting to respect you a little bit more. I'll tell you this. If we can get that interview, I'll download the song. If any of y'all out there can help make that happen, I will download the Fact song by them. But yeah, so this is my point, man. I just basically want to say that right here, they're speaking on the record industry and speaking on what they're doing to basically destroy and try to suppress this release, which goes to show you that even if you do go viral and even if you do have millions of people out there downloading your music, the mainstream agenda and the mainstream machine will do whatever they can do in their powers to destroy your release, to suppress your release, to take you off the trending charts, to take you off of the list. You know, the list where I guess a lot of people just go to see what's number one. And let me ask y'all a question, because didn't they do it with homeboy, what's his name? The dude that did the country folk song where he was singing in his backyard, it looked like, and the song just went viral, the Northmen, north of Richmond. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Northmen, north of Richmond, right? Song did like 20 million like in a week, maybe less. Went viral everywhere, right? What happened? What did the guy say? He said he had an interview where he was getting all kinds of calls from record industry execs saying, hey, we want to sign you to a label. I heard even one offered him like an $8 million deal on the table, where of course most people would have jumped on that. Now, who knows? Maybe he was making enough money on his own now. I'm sure he was getting downloads off of iTunes and he was doing shows. I'm sure he's getting paid for it. So maybe he was happy. Supposedly he turned down the deal because you haven't really heard from that guy lately. But he had that one song that went viral, and he said he got tons of calls from record labels. So let me ask you this. You don't think that Tom MacDonald, after the noise that he's been making, has definitely probably been getting calls from labels? I'm sure he has. Now, the question is on top of that is he going to get a deal that's so good that he can't refuse? Because I feel at this point, he has reached a level now where now you just can't deny him. Whether you like his music or not, his drive and his marketing skills and his business tactics are just undeniable. And if he produced that beat, props to you, man. And you're a dope producer, because I think I read in the credits that he actually made that beat too. So dude's also a producer. So I'm just trying to tell y'all, man, I really hope that you guys recognize that, because that's what we do on this channel is music journalism, right? That's why we started, man, talking about people that were going to get famous, people that we already thought were famous. I mean, come on, give us some props here. We covered Post Malone before he was famous. Give us some props. All right? So this is my point, man. He's basically telling you about the powers that be. Let's just let a little bit of this play. Hopefully, Ben, you let this video ride, because we're out here trying to push the information against the agenda, and this is what you were talking about.
All of the various algorithms that are now being used to suppress the song, because they really do not want us to hit number one on the Billboard charts, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it started before the song got even released. Obviously, I distribute all my music independently through TuneCore, and TuneCore actually denied the release of the song. Before the video release, before anybody even knew you were on the song, I had tried to submit and release the song through TuneCore, and they turned it down, which is super frustrating, because for an independent artist, TuneCore exists as the alternative to getting a record deal, and they exist as the alternative to getting a distribution deal. They're supposed to be there for independent artists who are avoiding the mainstream record label system of the music industry. So they denied the song on account of lyrical content before the song even hit the internet. So that was our first obstacle. We ended up getting the song to iTunes and Amazon and Spotify. We ended up getting it out. But the obstacles didn't stop there. Now, if you just take a quick peruse of the trending charts on YouTube right now, Megan Thee Stallion is at number 1.
Listen to this part, y'all.
Video Facts is at number 2. And if you just take 2 seconds to look at the metrics on the video, we're outperforming her in every metric. We have over 1 million more views than her. We have 50,000 more comments than she has. We're outperforming. Her video is performing objectively worse than ours. And we're actually pulling ahead right now quite quickly. And the further we get in the lead, we're stuck at number 2. They're not.
I think a lot has changed since this interview that just came out a few hours ago, because it seems like as we look at the metrics now, it seems like it's even less. I think at the time that they filmed this, he said he was at number 2. Now he's at number 3. So it makes you really wonder what is going on in the algorithm here,
allowing us to pass Megan and hit that number 1 spot. So, whether that's YouTube sort of disagreeing with the controversial nature of our song, or, Megan signed to Rock Nation. Rock Nation's part of Universal. Universal has a relationship with YouTube. And I'm sure that Universal has invested so much money into YouTube over the years that I don't know if there's some sort of backdoor agreement where they're saying like, hey, we don't care how many views these guys get. We don't care how viral their video goes. Megan is staying at number 1. In my best estimation, that's kind of what's going on. So our video is the top performing video on YouTube, bar none right now. And they're not letting us trend at number 1.
And by the way, all credit to you and Nova for that. Nova does an amazing job. I mean, she directed this beautifully.
I agree with everything that was said right there. That if you go back and really listen to what he just said right there, that he thinks that Rock Nation, which is sponsored by Universal, And you see, you know that Tom MacDonald, he probably did more research on this than most of us have about universal investing into YouTube, which I can completely see that. I can completely agree with that. That they're saying, hey, this is our artist. And our artist needs to be sponsored and be on the list. Our artist needs to be number one. Let me go back to that right now. Where were we at? Yeah, right here. And like he said, I mean, and it seems kind of strange because like he said, how they have so many more comments. I mean, if we just go back to the comments, they had 96,000, right? Over 96,000 comments. And Megan Thee Stallion had so they got like over 50,000 way more comments. I mean, come on, man. That's why I say, can y'all comment on the video? When you comment on the video, it automatically starts pushing the algorithm up. So the fact that Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro have around 50-something thousand more comments than Megan Thee Stallion does, it really makes you wonder, like, what is going on over here? Like, is the power, are the powers that be really controlling the system? And like I said, if we can get the likes up on our video, that would be really helpful. I really would appreciate y'all on this, man. Like, we need to get the likes up. We need to get everything going. I'm going to put a PayPal in the chat. And like I said, man, if you guys can help sponsor and make donations, anything helps. I'll even tell you right now that $1 will help. Because let me say this, which I'm going to get into next. If I have, and shout out to everybody that's been subscribing, and thank you to all y'all that have donated to the channel. I saw some donations come in, and I saw some super chats come in on some of my videos. So, wow. Thank you guys so much, man. I think one of y'all's names was Naisha. Thank you so much, Naisha. Shout you out. You're a blessing. Thank you for the donation that you made. That's how we get to keep doing this, man. So let me just say this real quick. I believe that if I could just get $1 from all of the followers that follow me, I would already be on my way to being a billionaire by now. Okay? So now I understand that we cannot rely on these third parties anymore to make our money. We cannot rely on Spotify. We cannot rely on iTunes. We cannot rely on Amazon to make our money. It was great maybe 5-6 years ago to make our money like that. It was great 10 years ago, maybe 15, maybe even 20 years ago to say, hey, you know what? I can just put this music out. And as long as I build up this type of a fan base, I can do this for a living. I don't need to get a job anymore. Now I can just do this. Because obviously there's enough people out there that appreciate what I am doing. Now, I'm not saying that that's not possible. I'm saying that that's definitely possible. I mean, that's why we got sites like Patreon and stuff like that, which I'm about to start, by the way. And I hope a lot of y'all will come and join me on Patreon. Just started a Rumble, by the way. So check that out if you guys get a chance. beatGrade all around the board. So my point is just basically it's like, it's getting to a point now where we need y'all, the people that support, the people that are with us, we need you to go directly to us now. Like, you need to come directly to us now. Our PayPals, our Cash Apps, which is $beatGrade, by the way. Come directly to us and sponsor us directly. Yeah, it's cool if you want to go to Spotify and stream our music, our beats. We got beat tapes out there. We got producers that we work with. Yeah, that's cool. That all helps, man. Stream the music, download the music, watch the videos, comment, like, subscribe, do all that. Please, asking you to. But I will say on top of that, though, hey, man, it's better to come contact me directly. info@beatgrade.com. Come contact us directly, man, and let us know how you want to support or how you want to get involved. Doesn't even have to be just all about money. Sometimes it could also be about, internships or helping out with videos or helping out with editing or helping out with making beats. I'm looking for producers all the time that can help us with beats in the background, so we don't have to worry about putting out commercial beats that are going to get flagged. And thank you for your chat. Thank you for your comments. Says Riz. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. This is facts, man. It's like Ben Shapiro and Tom MacDonald said. Facts, man. Can't hate on it, man. Again, let me just repeat that. You blowing money on strippers and cars. I'm not sure if that's how the phrase goes, but you know, that's basically what he's saying. And then also, I make money, or I make my racks off of compound interest. I bet you there's a lot of people in the hood that don't even know what compound interest is. Hey, I had to go back and do my research on that. I'm not mad at that. But you know what though? I'm always looking for more ways to make money. That's the thing that they don't teach you in school. And shout out to those of y'all that are in school right now watching, or at work, wherever you are. But this is the thing that we need to start doing with our money. We need to start taking our money and making our money work for us. Make our money work for us and make more money on top of that money. That's what I'm talking about. And that's basically what he was saying in that verse. And that's not what a lot of rappers are talking about. They ain't talking about how to make money on top of money. I'm wondering if Drake talks about that. Does he? Does Drake talk about that? Nah, I think Drake talks more about gambling. I think he talks more about that now. And I think that a lot of people are just so sick and tired of Drake. That's just the point that we've gotten to. Which maybe we should go to that part of the video anyways. What Mos Def had to say about Drake. Shout out to the Forgotten Kings for coming up with this. And I'm going to come back to another industry conspiracy theory, which is Taylor Swift, in just a second. But let me see if we can play the mighty Mos Def speech of what he was saying.
And about Drake. Mm-hmm. First of all, I don't hate anyone. My opinion is mine. It's legal in all states.
I may just run through this because he talks real slow.
It was not an opportunity to try to slander him or to clown on him. I have reached out to him. I have no response just yet, but I'm not keen to talk about people or to them through a screen. I prefer to talk to people directly.
I agree with that.
But I will say this. The young man is very talented. He's been able to be very successful with that talent. And I have no issue with his success or anything that he's been able to achieve as a result of his talent.
Okay, that's good.
I do feel that some of the criticism that he's received in the past has been mean-spirited and unfair. So
I feel that the criticism that he has received has been unspirited and unfair. Now, this makes me wonder, is Mos Def, has he been contacted by the powers that be? Has the Illuminati reached out to Mos Def? I don't know. Because if you guys follow, this does not sound like something that Mos Def typically would say. He would not usually backtrack like how it sounds like he's doing here. Now, I have heard some other people say that he is not backtracking, but then again, it's like, I don't know. This doesn't sound like a typical Mos Def to me, but let's keep it going.
I don't want to participate in that. And if I was perceived to be harsh or mocking or taunting, that is not my intention. And Drake, if you're watching or if you come across this, that's not my intention, brother. I've never had no issue with you personally. I don't know you well enough to even have any sort of issue with you in that regard. Nonetheless, it's not sacrilegious to have a critique or an opinion of a public figure, particularly one of that magnitude in current modern culture. It was a question that I was asked, and I answered it as earnestly and as diplomatically as I possibly could. Forgive my Brooklyn. With that being said,
forgive my Brooklyn.
At this given time,
yeah.
And let me be clear with this. At this given time that we are all living through, this is not where the focus ought to be.
I completely agree with you, Mos. I completely agree with you. There's like so much more going on in the world right now that's so much more important than this, such as Megan Thee Stallion's trash ass bars. But, you know, hey, this is what the world wants to focus on. And it's not just really that maybe this is what the world wants to focus on, but it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the psyops. These people have been put in place to confuse people and to make people, lack of a better word, dumb.
But what one artist or MC thinks of another one. I get it. It's something that people notice, and the different media outlets seized on that one aspect of the interview.
Yeah, I completely see what he's talking about, because he was talking about the war going on, and he was talking about Palestine and all that, even though hopefully I can say those countries. But yeah, he was talking about all that. And the only part that got taken out of that whole interview, which I'm not sure how long it was, because I went back and watched, pretty much most of it. And it was about, I don't know, maybe like an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more, give or take. And he was really talking about the war, and he was talking about spirituality, and he was talking about and he was going deep. He was going deep on that interview. So I completely understand that he's saying that out of that whole interview, that's what y'all chose to take, all y'all media outlets.
I have a retro, and they completely ignored the context. Completely ignored the context. What I was speaking about was a larger reality. In my opinion, which I feel is totally valid. There was no slander or intended slander at all. And that's the size of it. I wish that there was this much energy about human rights and real justice and resolving real life or death conflicts where blood is happening.
Yeah, we don't want to get too political, but I think we get the point, right? That Mos was basically making right there. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now in the world, and I think that we're about to see, and that's why I'm trying to say that. That's why it's so important that we're doing this video. Thunderdam Beats, what's up, man? Thank you for joining in. I appreciate y'all. Shout you out. That's what we talking about, man. It's like what's going on in the world out there. And I'm glad that y'all like when I gotta sound the alarm, because sometimes we gotta sound the alarm, But some people told me they ain't like it. There's like, hey, can you just talk more about what's going on? So you know what? We're gonna try to do a little bit of both. But I do think that sometimes we need to sound the alarm. Now, speaking of which, how there's more important topics than that of what's going on, let's go back to this Vivek Ramaswamy tweet. And before I go to that real quick, I just want to say the media outlets, yes, such as Charlemagne, Breakfast Club, all that. I really think that those people are psyops. You know what I'm saying? And in case you don't know, psyops are basically people that are put in place by the powers that be to confuse you and make you think that what they're doing is true, but really it's all fake and there's an agenda behind it. Hence, Taylor Swift. Which we'll come back to that in just a second. And you know what? As a matter of fact, because I just want to, that's going to be a longer subject. So before, we might take it out with that one. I want to just go to TMZ real quick and pull up. Let's just make sure we haven't missed anything. Yeah. was just realizing that, yeah, Lionel Richie wrote We Are the World with Michael Jackson. It's interesting. Yeah, the part with Kanye. I don't know if we can play the video, but yeah, where he was walking down the street. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because Charlemagne was trying to say that you a punk. He was trying to say, you know what, Kanye, you're a punk because you snatched the phone from this woman. But when that man was yelling you in the street, that happened about a week ago or so, you didn't say nothing. You didn't say nothing. You just got in your car and you drove away. Now, I can kind of see Charlemagne's point, but actually he didn't really just drive away. He kind of did sit there and listen to the man. From what I recall, I didn't really watch the video because I don't really get a kick out of seeing people who look like they could be on drugs yelling at somebody else. That and in today's world, let's be honest, man. And this is what I want to tell you, Charlemagne. Let's be honest. In today's world, you don't know if you can really trust being around, and maybe the trust isn't the right word, but you don't know if you can really stand there and listen to people like that for your safety, for safety reasons. But I understand what you're saying about how you grabbed this phone out of this woman's hand. But hey, you know, when you're filming people, there is a possibility that this could happen if you're filming people without their approval. Now, why, again, did Kanye West choose to walk down Hollywood Boulevard in the middle of the day with a black stocking cap around your head, wearing all black? And I believe it was probably a little hot that day because it's LA. Yeah, what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking? But we know what he's thinking. We know what he's thinking. Obviously, this is what he wanted. He wanted this attention. Let's see if it plays, man. He wanted this attention, and we can't be mad at him for getting that attention. Well, I'm not mad at you, Harvey, for putting up your crazy documentaries that don't really need to be up here. Let's see if we can play it.
And Bianca has her free will. Some people are saying you're controlling.
Oh, yeah, about the free will.
She's TMZ. She's TMZ. Why do you feel like it's okay? I'm a human being. All of this TMZ, this 30 miles on, y'all set celebrities up, all this bullshit. I don't give a fuck what y'all got to do. What y'all gonna do? What y'all got to say? Don't come at me with that shit. Ask me that. You think you can walk up on me like that? What you think? Cause you a white woman, you can walk up on me like that and ask me some dumbass shit like that? Ask me are my wife, tell me that she got free will? Are you crazy? You ain't saying this is America.
This is America, bitch. No.
You got free will, or you work for the devil?
Wait, did he really just have a Spider-Man mask on, or that was just the lighting? That was the lighting. Wow, the way the glare caught it is looks like Spider-Man right there.
You got free will, or you work for the devil? You got free will, you work for TMZ company.
I can't believe that Kanye is on the street having this conversation and people are just standing around filming it. Like, I really can't believe it, man. You know, and it makes me wonder just, like, if you had the time to be with a genius like that. I think on this channel we can all agree that Kanye is a genius, right? And again, like, we were following him before he became famous. Now, why would you be on a street corner or on a street just filming this stupid conversation? I mean, I get it. I get it. If you're a fan, you're going to do that. But if you're someone with some intelligence, I would see somebody possibly enter, you know, maybe not. I was going to say interjecting or whatever, like into the conversation to say something like, hey, you know, listen, maybe she, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's saying anything, man. Everybody's just filming, which is just crazy to me. And I don't know. I just feel like if you're in the presence and on the street, and you're able, you don't have to have like a bunch of security around. You're not in a club where it's loud. Like, usually when you're in places like this and you're trying to talk to people, or at least some of my experiences have always been like in a loud surrounding, or there's like a lot of people around or a crowd around. Right here, it looks like there was a small crowd, but then of course the crowd started to get bigger as they realized what was going on. but it's still, I think, a situation where you could possibly have a real conversation. And ain't nobody talking about nothing. And she's just sitting there taking this abuse while Kanye has her phone.
You understand that? I'm here to support Charlie Wilson. You come and ask me some dumbass shit about my wife. That's my wife. You understand? You wasn't asking shit when I couldn't see my kids.
Maybe that's his publicist right there. Looks like his PR person right there. Let's go,
Do you have
Kanye.
questions? Do you have questions when I wasn't able to see my kids? And that I only get visitation and don't have rights to where they go to school? You got questions for that, or are you part of the
Look at the security guard in the background like, oh, man, this is just another day at my job.
system? You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you understand?
You understand what I'm saying? What do you hear? What do you hear about that? Is that your job to go up to every celebrity, ask them some dumbass shit about their wife?
I didn't really watch this whole thing, so I just kind of want to watch it with y'all.
No, tell me. Was it wrong for you
Is that Ye's dad right there?
to
That
ask
might
me
be his.
about my wife some dumbass disrespectful shit like that? Was that wrong or right?
I'm sorry, Kanye. I just need my phone.
No, answer the question. I'm supposed to answer your question?
Yeah, she just said, I'm sorry, Kanye, I just need my phone. I think they said she works with TMZ and she's just doing her job. What did TMZ say about this real quick? I'm just seeing what he said real quick. If she does work for you guys, yeah, of course, that's a story for them. They don't really care. You know, like this just goes to show that they will abuse their employees. This is probably what Van Lathan was talking about. They'll just abuse their, I mean, look at Van Lathan too. No disrespect to Van Lathan because I do agree with some of your takes. But when I've watched him in interviews, he just seems like he's just so kind of obnoxious where that type of personality is just very overbearing. And like, listen to me. I know. And I understand that some of us, including myself, can come off like that sometimes. But I feel like I have a little bit of a more of an open mind where I'm willing to listen to other people's ideas and thoughts. Whereas it seems like a personality like Van Lathan, who used to work for TMZ, if y'all don't know, that's the guy that had that big argument with Kanye at the TMZ headquarters. It seems like, and then what did he say he did? He said before he got to that position, he was doing the tours. He was one of those people that was out there doing the paparazzi. So it's like, in order to be a paparazzi, which I think is what he really is and how he started in the business, you have to have a very aggressive personality. You have to have a personality where you're not afraid to walk up on people and put your phone in their face or your camera in their face and start taking pictures and asking questions and doing videos. Before it was photography. Now it's like straight up video with the phones, right? And it's just because, you know, you can get the photos from the video, so it's better just to do video. And it's just like, when I listen to these people from TMZ, they just have these interesting personalities. But the point that I'm making with Van Lathan is that I just heard that recent interview that he just did where he said that he regretted, or allegedly according to him, but I think he said that in multiple interviews, where he regretted working at TMZ. And I can see why by watching this clip, because it looks like being on this job, you can just be humiliated, like the way she looks right here. And TMZ is just going to write a story about it. Now, the question is did she get a raise for this humiliation? Because I think Ye said in this whatever this is, he said like, hey, what are they paying you? I'll double it.
My question. I got your phone now. They going to arrest me for taking your phone?
I would have said 20 million.
I don't.
You answer the question. You asked me, did my wife have free will? Was that a dumbass, disrespectful
You know, I wouldn't be mad if Kanye had my phone. I'd be like, let's talk about it, man.
question to come ask a grown-ass superhero? Answer the question. What's your name?
Answer the
What's
question.
your first and last name and address, miss?
What are we doing?
I just need my phone.
Where is your phone?
No, she came to me and said, does your wife
Wow,
have
the police
free
got
will?
involved.
She worked for TMZ.
Okay,
They
how
be
do you
running
know
on-
each other?
Yeah, how do you know me, miss?
That's a great question. Wow, this really did get into detail.
No, what is her name? What is this lady's name?
I'm just a reporter.
No, you're not just a reporter. What's your first and last name? Melanie what? What's your address? What you make a year? I'll pay you double what they paying you.
Woo! Woo!
Oh, now you smiling.
Woo!
Get her contact.
Yes, I will. I will. I will. Good shit, Melanie.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Now you smiling.
Woo! Woo!
Address, what you make a year? I'll pay you double what they paying you.
Woo! Woo!
Oh, now you smiling.
Woo!
Get her contact.
Yes, I will. I will. I will. Good shit, Melanie.
Thank you. Thank you, Kanye.
That was interesting. Yeah, he's just gonna walk down Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah, that was yeah, man. Hey, just wanted to speak on that real quick. That was an interesting encounter. Hopefully the video doesn't get flagged for that, but it's not on YouTube, so hopefully it shouldn't. But yeah, I want to go to this last thing before we get up out of here. And I want to say thank you again for those of y'all that are watching, subscribing, down with us. That's what it's all about. Vivek Ramaswamy, right? He posted this on Twitter. I think after the Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens, right? Or it was yesterday morning. Basically, he says, I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl next, whatever. Well, next month. I mean, yeah, I guess technically it is, but it's a few days, right? He says, I wonder if there's a major presidential endorsement coming from artificially culture propped up couple this fall. Just some wild speculation over here. Let's see how it ages over the next months, right? Yeah, true. I don't think that anybody in their right mind really believes that this relationship right here with what's his name again? Travis Kelce, is that his name? And Taylor Swift is really real. Whatever. You're always trying to pop up your ads. Yeah, from what I've heard from a lot of people, and from what a lot of people have been saying, is that this relationship does not seem real. Taylor Swift gives Travis some love after the Kansas City AFC Championship game. This is just so lame. Listen, I want to ask y'all, if you guys are watching, do you guys think that this is real? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And yes, I know Deck the Halls. I was gonna say he was on the ceremony. He was at the Walk of Star for Charlie Wilson. I know. I didn't say that, but I said my point was that with Kanye was that he's still walking down the street on Hollywood Boulevard. I've been to the Hollywood Walk of Fame before, such as the one with Ice-T. You can see that we covered it right there. So what I'm wondering is, I've seen people drive, especially as famous as Kanye, they can drive and pull right up to the star and walk directly into the gate. They don't have to walk down the street. So he must have I don't know where he parked his car at. He must have parked his car in the parking lot, but that's probably that. So as far as back to this conspiracy theory, once Vivek put this out and said, right here, this main part, a presidential endorsement coming from an artificially, culturally propped up couple. Wow. Vivek just basically went up there and said that this whole relationship is fake. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people say, as you see right here in the comments, that it's rigged. Give me a moment, y'all. Give me a moment. Let me play something real quick. Speaking of being rigged, let me play this real quick.
And the editing is incredible. I mean, again, it makes it look like I can, my digital footprints, I protect myself with.
So they denied the song on account of lyrical content.
Like
see if I can
exactly
find
the
this so
same
far.
as whatever.
See if I can find this one part for y'all without the video getting flagged. But there's this one part where he was talking about the powers that be, and I just want to go back to that, to the Taylor Swift.
The hell it is that Megan Thee Stallion is doing. Clearly, I mean, if we're gonna make sure that the kids don't see damaging material, we got to stop Tom MacDonald.
Man, it's in our song. I think in the pre-chorus is we talked about not promoting guns. We talked about not promoting drugs. We talked about not turning people's sons into thugs and their daughters into hoes. And, we sort of spoke out against like what the status quo in hip hop is. And for some reason, we're treated, we're living in some sort of upside down, backwards freak show. And it just seems like the most destructive material. And hip hop is full of a lot of destructive material. The promotion of violence, the romanticizing of mental health and prescription drugs recreationally. It seems like those things tend to get the most mainstream attention, and anything that speaks out against that, especially in our case, has been suppressed. So, it's like it's almost as if they want to sort of indoctrinate the demographic for hip hop is like 19 to 35-year-old white American youth. Like that's the primary demographic. It almost seems like there is a conscious effort to sort of destroy and dismantle and dilute that generation.
I'm glad that we have that part right there, because that was one of the main parts of the interview that I'm sure you guys needed to hear and want to hear that haven't heard it yet. That there seems that there's an agenda to infiltrate these minds. There's an agenda that's been in place. And we all see that. And that brings me to the point. Back to Taylor Swift. She has over 272 million followers on Instagram. I'm sure at this moment in time, she probably has more than that. I'm not sure. Tim Pool kind of broke this down too a little bit more. But let me see before we start seeing Snoop Dogg and everybody post some stupid stuff on Instagram. By the way, did you guys hear about Snoop Dogg endorsing Donald Trump? Yeah, I covered that, put that up there. Everybody said, oh, that's fake news. That's fake news. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump's son went up there and said, yep, he did. He sure does. A lot of people say Eminem's next. All right. So 279 million. Okay. Time Magazine, Beyonce. Okay, so we're talking about just top of the list. Is that even her with Kendrick Lamar? I never even noticed this. I never went to her Instagram. In the studio with Kendrick. Okay, so she's like with the elite of the elite. All the rappers. Nice symbol by Kendrick Lamar, too, that he's throwing up right there. A little Illuminati symbol. Well, like, what is this symbol right here that Kendrick is throwing up? That might be a whole nother video that we're going to have to do. That's going to be a whole nother video right there. Because a lot of people say that's a symbol. Is it a coincidence that Kendrick Lamar is just throwing up that symbol in a photo with Taylor Swift? Looks to be an older photo, though. So she has 279 million followers on Instagram. This isn't including her Twitter or YouTube, but I'm sure most of her fan base is on this account. So my point is this, is that obviously she has a huge following. She has a huge influence. But according to people like Tim Pool, who did research on this, who I do agree with, where he was basically saying that a lot of this is fabricated, a lot of this is fake, a lot of this that he does not believe is real. I saw this funny meme on Facebook where they have Taylor Swift. She's going to be on the new cover of Madden football video game. This is just, I mean, so a lot of us are seeing what's going on. again, this is why I can't get into professional sports as much as I used to. This is the reason why I do not bet on games like the way I used to, because I'm not sure if I really believe all the stuff that's going on in football. I'm not sure if I really believe all of it. You know what's also really funny when I look at this picture right here? What's really funny to me when I look at this photo is that y'all remember with some of us that were in high school and you had like the popular quarterback of the football team or the popular football player and then the popular girl in school that everybody wanted to be with. And, you know, she's the prom queen and he's the prom king and everybody wanted to be cool like them and they're what's popular and they're what's cool. I guess the word now is trending. And then as you get older, you start to see that being an adult is not really much different from when you were in high school. People are like, oh man, I can't wait to be older. I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait to be an adult so I don't have to deal with this crap anymore. And I mean, I get it. Because looking back at my high school years is just not that great. I'll be honest with y'all. Do I regret? No. I had fun in high school too. Played a lot of basketball. You know what I mean? So I had fun. I was good at sports. Am good at sports. Still am good at sports. But yeah. You're like, oh, this whole popularity, who's cool, the cool girls in school. Will she talk to me? Will she not talk to me? I mean, I don't know what kids are doing now. I think now y'all are texting each other. Back in those days, you actually had to talk to the girl. But as you get older, as far as this whole popularity contest goes, you start to see that nowadays is not really much different from the times that we were a teenager. So I feel like that when I watch this whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce relationship, that a lot of people have been saying it just seems generic and does not seem authentic. And I definitely agree with that, because I think that I remember when I first started hearing the news about them that she didn't seem to say that she really liked him, or I don't know. It just seemed like when you see them together, the body language was different, right? The body language was off. And now it just seems, I mean, even in this photo right here, just, I don't know. Something just doesn't look right to me. I'm very good at reading body language. I'm really good at it, man. As a matter of fact, I think there was a site on Twitter that explains body language, and they were looking at the two body language between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and said that it was inauthentic. It's not real. Just by the way the body language is, because there was a lot of photos of him leaning into her. There's a lot of endorsement deals that are going on here. Now, I've heard some other conspiracy theories where people have been saying Taylor Swift, as you've heard, is a psyop, and she's actually going to go to the Super Bowl game. And then after the Super Bowl game, if we can really get into conspiracy theories, she's going to say, oh, you know, after, let's just take it to where maybe Kelce wins the Super Bowl, and at the last touchdown that he scores, he gets down on one knee, he proposes to her. Imagine this publicity right here. If it was actually real or genuine, or let's say that it's not real and it's not genuine, but let's just say the fact that he proposes to her at the Super Bowl. Do we know how much big media press that would get? We already know that might, I mean, let me say this. Possibly, if he were to win the Super Bowl, right, and get down on one knee and propose to her at the Super Bowl, which I don't think is going to happen. But I'm just saying, if this were to happen, this could be as big as the Will Smith Oscar slap. It could be as big as the Oscar slap. Definitely. So that's what I've heard from some people, but I don't think it's going to happen. But nonetheless, this seems like something that their public relations team put together, has fabricated for them to make more money, for them to get richer, which, hey, I'm not mad at that. Now you can charge more money for advertising. You can charge more money at your concerts. As a matter of fact, I heard that this Super Bowl, and thank you for the likes. I hope you guys give me some subscribes and keep it coming. As a matter of fact, I've actually heard that this Super Bowl is one of the most expensive Super Bowls to get into, with the ticket prices already starting at around $10K. That's $10,000, y'all, just to get in. I don't even think that those are the good seats. Don't you all find it kind of strange and kind of ironic that during the time when the economy is having a so-called inflation, that the tickets to the Super Bowl are the most expensive that they've ever been? I find that kind of strange. Like, who has the money, right? The average person is what I'm speaking on. Who is the average person that has the money to go and drop $10,000 on a Super Bowl ticket to go sit up way up in the stands? You ain't even going to be on the field. You're thinking, oh, yeah, man, I paid $10,000 to be on the field. No, it's $10,000 to be at the top, in the back. Who has the money to just go drop on that? You know who? I know who. Millionaires. That's who. I don't even know if millionaires have that. They got to be millionaires that are probably close to like $1 billion, that have the money to just go say, hey, I'm going to be able to just drop $10,000 on a ticket. Why not? So there's a lot of things that are going on here. But let's just say this, though. We'll go back to the conspiracy theory. Travis Kelce gets the game-winning ball. He runs it into the end zone. He scores the touchdown, and he looks up to Taylor Swift, and he says, I love you, babe. He pulls out the wedding ring. Will you marry me? Oh! May have to sound the alarm on that one. He says, will you marry me? At the Super Bowl, everybody's going crazy. Everybody's going wild. She said yes. She said yes. Man, some people have said that they are not watching the Super Bowl because of this. I doubt that, though. I doubt that. But let's just say, after she says yes, then all of a sudden she turns to the camera and she says, vote for Joe Biden. That's what she says. Now, a lot of people are saying that this could be a conspiracy theory. Now, if you think I'm making all this up, let me go back over to Vivek's tweet. What was the tweet that he commented on or replied to? Thinking about when Taylor Swift called out the Soros family in 2000, for buying the rights to her music, and then how she came out a super liberal in 2020. Yeah, interesting. You see, it's good that some of us are doing some thinking here. Some of us are using our brains here. And this is why I just want to show y'all, like, this is what's going on right now on Twitter. So even the New York Post said that Vivek Ramaswamy wildly speculates Super Bowl will be rigged for Chiefs to set the stage for Taylor Swift's Biden endorsement. I want to show y'all, man. This is actually a real theory. Now, the reason why I give people like Tim Pool props and say that, yes, obviously she's being controlled by the machine. She's obviously being controlled by the machine. But on top of her being controlled by the machine, and that this whole relationship is just so fake, it's so much acting involved here. I don't believe that she has that power. Now, because why? Because Tim Pool had pointed this out, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me do my research on this too. So we'll come back to that in a minute. I want to do my research on this too. Yeah, the NPR, where it says that Taylor Swift's Instagram post helped drive voter registration, right? This is for the other election that came up. On Tuesday morning, the singer posted, this isn't today, but it says on Tuesday morning, the singer posted a short message on her Instagram where she had at the time 272 million followers, right? Registered to vote afterward, the website she directed, it said that supposedly they had 35,000 registrations sign up that day, according to the organization. Now, do we even know if that number's true? Probably not. But then other than that, what I've heard some people say is that did all 35,000 registrations come from Taylor Swift that day? Probably majority of them. But on top of that, it's like they saw a 23% jump, right? From the year before, which I can see. But there was a number that they looked at that they said that they had 35,000 registrations from 272 million followers. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So basically what they're saying is that Taylor Swift is obviously controlled by the mainstream media, by the record companies, by the machine. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion, which we had up the Rock Nation thing earlier. And that's the point that I'm making here, is that some of these artists are controlled by the machine, even if this number is true or not true. And if you guys want more details on this, Tim Pool just did a story on it. It was really great how he broke it down. But I just want to say, even if she pulled all 35,000 registrations from her 272 million followers, and let's just say only 8,000 of them wound up voting. Fair enough. People are going to say, well, they're not voters or they're not into politics. They're just into Taylor Swift's music, which I can understand. You can't expect people that listen to music are going to go out and vote, right? But my point is this, is that out of your 272 million followers, you only had 35,000, which I don't even believe that was the full number, because I believe that some of those thousands came from other sources. But let's just say 30K. You have 30,000 subscribers that they believe came from the traffic that you put out there out of your 272 million followers. That's not even half of your followers. Is that because most of your following, I don't know what the age range is, I would assume millennials and some others, are probably like, yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea. You're right. We should go out and do that. Rock the vote, man. But you know what? I'm not going to do it. But thanks for saying that. I'll like it. I'll comment in it. You know, they'll comment and say, yeah, keep up the good work, Taylor. But are they going to go out and vote because of her? Possibly not. But this also brings to another point that I want to make here. Let me highlight this real quick. Y'all see the numbers right here, 272 million compared to 35,000. This goes to the point to where I'm trying to say, does that also translate to record sales? Does it translate as well to record sales? Because if you think about it, if you have a following that big of 272 million, and that's just on your Instagram account, that's not including your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, other social media you have out there, TikTok, I'm sure now. Now I think she's at nearly 280 million. But you have this large following and only 35,000 people, which is still a great number, but only 35,000 people made a move off of what you said. Does that transfer to record sales, that if Taylor Swift were to say, hey, you know what, forget the record industry, forget this mainstream industry, and go the Tom MacDonald route, is the point I'm trying to make here. Go the Tom MacDonald route and say, you know what, screw corporations. I was going to say corporate America, but yeah, that is a part of corporate America as well. The music mainstream, the music industry. Screw the mainstream music industry, and I'm going to do this all independent. I'm now going to be an independent artist. Go out and buy my new album. Now, I think she could do that. I think that she obviously has enough power and enough buzz to where she can do that. The question is she going to still be making the money that she's making now? No, I do not think so. I think that the machine is pushing the agenda to keep her in the mainstream. Just like I said about her whole relationship with Kelsey, I think it's fabricated. I don't think it's real. I think it's a publicity stunt. Some people say, well, she doesn't need Travis to promote her music. She can do that on her own. She's already a big enough star to do that on her own. True. But let's be real. When two come together and form a union, they become stronger, such as J-Lo and Ben Affleck. What did they come with that stupid phrase? Benifer. You got, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker, what do they call him? Trave or whatever the heck that thing is. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about, though. Travis. Man, they got all these stupid names and these stupid things that they're doing. So they obviously understand that when two people become a couple, people are always fascinated with romantic stories. People are always fascinated with being in each other's business. People are always fascinated with knowing about relationships. So obviously the push is going to be harder and the push is going to be stronger. It's going to be stronger, man. So yeah, what I'm basically saying is that I do not believe that she can go off and not be part of this. I do not believe it. But I will say, though, before I get up out of here, and I want to say thank y'all that were watching. Thank y'all that subscribed. I know I got to start being more on time with this because we want to build up that following. And the more that we're on time with it, the more that you guys stay on. You know what I'm saying? Or on time, shall I say. So I'm going to do my best to start doing that. But I want to tell you this, man, that I don't believe that she really has the power to manipulate and control the masses. Now, I think that she does have a voice, and I think that she does have major influence across the world. Definitely one of the most famous artists in the world now, you can say, I believe. Although I don't remember hearing Taylor Swift's music anywhere, not even in Europe. But if you're being played thousands and thousands of times a day, and I'm not sure if I really made this point clear earlier, but yes, to have the clubs, to have the radio stations keep you in rotation is definitely beneficial and very helpful to your career. And that's why I think it's good that even if you don't care about this stuff, if you just are interested in the music industry, you should be kind of paying attention to what's going on here, because artists like Tom MacDonald are basically showing you that he is doing it without the mainstream. And maybe he probably was trying to get a record deal back in the days, or maybe he had one. I don't know. But now he's at a point now where he's like, okay, they're obviously not trying to push your message. They're not trying to push your agenda. And it almost seems like the powers that be are making a conscious decision to keep that out of the mainstream. They're making a conscious decision, y'all. So, yeah, man. They know that a lot of people are not going to do their research, and a lot of people are not going to dig in the crates, as we used to say, and look for what's really real out there. They're going to just be spoon-fed the ideas of coming from other people, and they're going to tell you what they think is hot, such as this Megan Thee Stallion trash, such as the Nicki Minaj. And don't get me wrong, I like Nicki Minaj. I think she got some flows. I think that she's actually one of the tightest female rappers that are out. I've already expressed that before. I've expressed that Cardi B is okay, cool. You know, she's all right too. You know what I'm saying? But it's obvious, yo, that there is an agenda that's at place, and they are trying to keep, try to keep people down. And thank you, Rumorville. I appreciate you. I appreciate this being your first time here. I hope that you can subscribe to the channel. And thank you for agreeing with what I said, man. Yeah, man, this is real, man. I mean, I think I'm about to get up out of here, but I appreciate all y'all, man. I appreciate the likes, the comments. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you, Rumorville, for your chat. Thank you, Deck the Halls. And that was my bad. Maybe I didn't explain that thoroughly. Maybe I should have explained what Kanye was doing out there. And thank you, Thunderdam Beats, for always being out there. I hope you guys subscribe, man, and know what's up. Yeah. Would she sell 35,000 records if she told everybody to come out and support her? Now, don't get me wrong. That would still be great money, man. That would be great money. You got at least 20,000 people out there supporting your craft. I'm sure you'd be able to do fine just off of that. But would you be making bars, by the way? But would you be making multiple millions upon millions like she's doing now with all the endorsements and all the publications and all the people that are writing her and, all the media coverage that she's getting and all the interviews that she's getting? Would she be getting all that if she didn't have the machine behind her? Now, if she comes out after the Super Bowl and let's say Kansas City wins, and she comes out and she says, she starts telling everybody to vote, now I'm going to be a little suspicious. I'm going to be a little suspicious, and then that's going to bring me to what Vivek was saying here. So many people are saying that it's rigged. Let's just read through the comments real quick before we get up out of here. Somebody said they already played in the Super Bowl at San Francisco. Man, I wish Detroit would have went because, man, to see Eminem out there and Taylor Swift go out there. See, that's why I don't know if I could really say the NFL is rigged. I mean, I think a lot of parts of this are rigged, but can I say that the game is rigged? I don't know, because if the game was really rigged, let's see what this person's saying.
When I learned this from his big dumb face.
Taylor Swift, I think she put up one voter registration link and she registered millions and millions. And we're going to be like, oh, wow, where did all these young female voters come from?
It turns out that earlier this year, Taylor Swift, in a blatantly woke, anti-conservative, anti-Christian move, encouraged her fans to register to vote. Despicable. She did it through the nonpartisan, so they claim, but we know that anything that's not explicitly, angrily conservative is woke. Group vote.org. Apparently, more than 35,000 people registered to vote after she.
So yeah, everybody's basically just covering the same thing that I already talked about. But yeah, that's where we at now, man. That's where we at. A lot of people are speculating that this is all a plot to an agenda to push to get people to vote, and they're using Taylor Swift's agenda to do that. And like I said, man, let's get these likes and these subscribes up, and thank y'all for agreeing. I appreciate it, man. And let me go ahead and say this, though, is that even if it is true, she doesn't really have that influence. It's all fake. I'm starting to really think that the Spotify streams are fake. Oh, and let's not just get into Spotify yet. Like, that's a whole nother subject right there, man. I've heard Spotify is going to start taking music off of the platform. And if you don't have over 1,000 plays, you're not going to get paid for your music and you're not going to get monetized. Speak about the agenda, and also Spotify trying to compete with YouTube, obviously. Yeah, man, it's getting crazy out there, y'all. It's getting crazy out there, man. So, y'all tell me what you think. I'm really interested to know what some people think, man. Is the Super Bowl rigged? Like I said, I'm not sure if it could be rigged. I mean, it is interesting that Kansas City went to the Super Bowl, especially now with Taylor Swift. But I will say, though, that if it was really, really super rigged, I think Detroit would be up in there. Because, I mean, come on, Eminem going at it with Taylor Swift, that would just be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Imagine if they both took a photo together at the Super Bowl, too. I doubt that Eminem would do that, but. So, yeah, man, we covered this right here. But I'm glad to see that a lot of people are saying that they believe that this relationship is not real. It just doesn't seem real. Oh, and by the way, before I get up out of here, did you guys hear that because of the artificial intelligence that was going on? And let me cover this too real quick because a lot of people were hating on us on this. Did you also know that because of the artificial intelligence that you cannot search for Taylor Swift's name on Twitter anymore? And they banned her name for being searched. Now, I don't know if that's true. So let's go ahead and do a test, shall we? Because if that is the case, I would like to see the one where they put the body language. I mean, there's some stuff that's coming up, but not really. There's no photos of her, no pictures of her. Just these highlights, as you see what I'm saying. It's like you can't really find something about Taylor Swift. They went ahead and they, of course, deleted all of the artificial intelligence photos that were trending. But I was looking up the one that was for the body language. Let me see if I can find that real quick while I play this. See if I can find that real quick.
No turnovers by Kansas City. They got 66 yards in total offense.
I love you. I love you so much. Oh, you did such a great job. Yo, man, that's what I'm saying. Fabricated or what, yo? Is this not the most fabricated thing you've seen?
Against Marquez Valdez-Scantling, as you Travis Kelce Hey, with Taylor Swift. To the victors.
Right, you hear people booing in the background?
Hey, Phil, life is good, huh?
Yeah, life is good. It is. But I'll say this. Kansas City coaches did a great job. And now, if you're the Baltimore Ravens, this was a Super Bowl team they had. This is going to hurt for a
Let's make sure that when we give our hug and we give our kiss, that we do it on the football field in front of everybody, in front of the cameras. I mean, I get it. You're a football player. You're a pop singer. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating. I'm just saying that a lot of this just seems very, very fake. You remember like when Kim Kardashian and Kanye West were all into each other and you'd see them at the basketball games and stuff, or what was that other one like too, like Kourtney Kardashian and what was her name or his name, Lamar Odom, and she would be at the games all the time. It's just so fake. But let me see if I can find this post real quick, or Tim Pool actually explains it better, so maybe I'll just let him just explain it while I go take a quick break. Let me know what y'all think.
These magazine companies are dying and want people to buy their magazines. Taylor Swift fans will buy all of them. And then you see, like, here she is watching football. Here she is hugging Travis Kelce. Whatever, man. Maybe they're really in love. I don't know what the point. You know, look. Here's my point. Right, let me show you some more. I love this one so much. I love this. This is green line theory.
Yeah. Green line theory.
Rivellino says leaning in plus face claw. This is not going to last. Green line theory. So the green line theory is that men who are leaning into the woman are expressing more interest in her, and the women are expressing less interest in him. This is actually a true thing, a real thing. I don't know if these photos are proof of anything, but it is true. If a guy is leaning into a woman and she is not, then you can see the interest imbalance typically, not always. That's what I'm saying. A single photo doesn't mean anything. But it is true. If there is a woman leaning away from the man, these things do matter in psychology and evolutionary psychology.
Thank you, Tim, for breaking that down for us. Yeah, green line theory. I guess I'm going to have to follow these guys because they're out there putting out the green line theory on everything. All relationships. Yes, the man is leaning into the woman. So remember that, guys, when you go on your next date, that if you're leaning into the woman and she's not leaning back into you, or you're leaning in 90%, then she's just not that into you. But let's just say this too. Let's just give one little quick dating advice since we're on the subject. You guys, there's 2 movies that you should go out and see, and they're not really chick flicks. The 2 movies you should see are Crazy Stupid Love with Ryan Gosling, who's like really big right now because of the Barbie movie. But no, yeah, you kind of could see Barbie too. But on dating advice, I'd say Hitch with Will Smith and Crazy Stupid Love. Those are the 2 movies to go see, man. Because I remember that part of the movie where Hitch, I think Will Smith says to Kevin James, if that's his name, he says, when you go to kiss her on the first date, he says, don't lean in all the way. You lean in about, I forgot what the percentage was. I think he might have just said, let's say 10%. You lean in 10%, let her lean in the rest of the 90. Let her come to you. That way you know. And also you're not intruding. So I definitely do believe this theory with the green line theory. Yeah, I got to follow that page. Looks like they're breaking it down, man. They're breaking it down. Yeah, so anyways, those are my thoughts, man. I think we pretty much just about covered it. I want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sadiq, for the comment. Eminem should have had God off singing Superman. Yeah, man. I mean, what do you mean exactly by that? You might be in a different part of the chat than I am in the video, but if you're still on, maybe you can explain that. But like I said, for those of you that are watching and for those of you that have tuned in, I would appreciate it if you guys could like, subscribe. We'll continue to do more of these. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me what time works best for you. We're kind of just, testing out the times, experimenting. Sometimes I do it in the morning. Sometimes I do it in the afternoon. Usually it's in the afternoon, evening time. But I don't know. Maybe we'll start doing it more so earlier. And I will usually pick a day to do it. Mostly Sundays, just for y'all knowing. But for right now, it'll be, I might pop up here and there on the weekdays just if I have an idea like this that came to my mind where I felt like, okay, yeah, you know what? I got to talk about this. But for the most part, yeah, man, I appreciate all y'all that have been chatting and commenting. Please like this video, man, because when you like this video, it helps get the algorithm out there. And that goes back to the point of what I'm saying right here. If you guys look at the trending charts, let's just see if they have refreshed it or if Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro are still at number 3. That's what I want to see here. Yep, it looks like they're still at number 3. So this is the reason why a lot of us YouTubers, I guess as you want to say, or whoever, come up and say, hey, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Because the more likes and comments, and that's what I want to say. Again, thank y'all for the chats. Thank y'all that have been watching. Thank y'all that have been tuning in on this and chiming in and giving me your thoughts as well, because that also helps to get some of the feedback. Even if some of y'all are haters, I appreciate all the feedback. Let me just say this, though, that that's the reason why we ask you to like and subscribe, because as you can see here, look at this. You got Tom MacDonald, who's clearly got more likes. I'm not sure if he even has more subscribers, but I'm pretty sure he's got more likes, he's got more comments, and more views on this video in the same amount of time as Megan Thee Stallion, and yet they still have Megan Thee Stallion trending at number 1 on YouTube. Yeah, this is YouTube right here, in case y'all didn't know where I'm on right now. I'm streaming on YouTube, showing you YouTube right here. This is the music that is trending right here. And we know that this is not true. Facts has 8.5 million now. Since we started this call, what was it at? It was like at 8 something. So it's just gained like 100,000 more hits since we've been doing this stream. Talk about numbers. And look at Megan Thee Stallion. Hers looks like it's still at the same number. It almost makes me wonder now, are they paying for these hits? I mean, I don't know. She is getting a lot of exposure out there, so who knows? Let's refresh Nicki Minaj real quick. I just want to just look at something real quick, and I might as well do it with y'all while I'm on this stream. Then we've been on here for almost 2.5 hours. Like I said, man, who else is out here breaking this down like this? So, yeah, she's still at 3 million. She's at 3,139,000 with 64,000 comments. How in the world is she above Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro when she doesn't even have the same numbers? And like I said, y'all, be careful, man. I really think that there's some secret agents out there because, yeah, they're telling you to support this music and say that this music is hot. Not the one with Ben Shapiro on them, but the one with Megan Thee Stallion. They're out here telling you to support this. This is what's hot right now. Oh, she's the number 1 artist on the charts. But as we look at the numbers, we clearly see that that's not the case. And like I said, again, it's very confusing when I go to Apple Music and it's showing me that Hiss by Megan Thee Stallion is number 1, right above Nicki Minaj in hip hop. But if I still have it up right here, let me see. Yeah, but if you Google it, right here, it's saying, what's the number 1 song on iTunes right now? Right now, it's saying that it's Facts. And then it's Bigfoot. I don't know if this list is really legitimate to go after or go off of. But, yeah, man, this is weird. This is weird, yo. That's why I say, man, if y'all can like and subscribe, help us get the word out there, get the name out there, just so we can make sure that these videos and other videos that we do don't get suppressed. We want to start getting the message out there. Let's make sure to see if there was anything else that we didn't
35-year-old white American youth. Like, that's the primary demographic.
I'm glad how you broke down the primary demographic for people that listen to hip hop are actually white from 19 to 35-year-old male.
It almost seems like there is a conscious effort to sort of destroy and dismantle and dilute that generation. And
destroy, dilute, And what was the other word he used?
Anything else, destroy and dismantle and dilute that generation.
Dismantle. Wow.
And anything else, like I would argue to say that our song is actually the total opposite of that. It's
true. They don't want that message out there, man. So I just want y'all to be careful. Be careful of the Breakfast Club. Be careful of DJ Academics. I'm not going to go and find that right now, but there is a video out there where DJ Academics says that he was invited to an Illuminati party. He actually put it just like that. He said that he was invited to an Illuminati party, and that this was when Ice Spice, speaking of which, when Ice Spice was just getting ready to come out, and that they basically said, hey, we want you to talk about Ice Spice. We want you to talk about this. We want you to talk about that. I heard, too, that he even supposedly was supposed to do it for Cardi B, and that they paid him to actually talk about these artists. They paid him to talk about these artists because they knew that he has influence and that he has his ear to the street and he has a lot of listeners. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, man, that some of these people are psyops. They're actually put there to make you think that this is what's hot, because I know that Academics knows what's up, and I know that he pays attention to what's going on. And I watch a lot of his videos too. And off of the main parts of his videos that I have watched, I have not heard him speak on one thing about the Ben Shapiro, Tom MacDonald song. All I've been hearing him talk about is Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj and some other rappers that I've never even heard of before. And I think that that's where Ben Shapiro is clowning in his verse, where he says he's on television and you're going to prison. Nobody knows who you are. We hear about all these rappers who are going to prison and who got shot, unfortunately. And I'm sure a lot of us are in the same situation, because I even heard J. Cole say this in a verse where he's like, I didn't even know who you were until that happened. So now I'm going back and listening to your music or trying to figure out who you are. It's almost like they're using this catastrophes that are happening to promote their music. So basically, from what I'm hearing, is that Academics did a interview where he was talking about how he was paid by 10K Projects to promote Ice Spice. And in case you don't know who 10K Projects is, let me pull that up real quick. 10K Projects is a record label that was done by nepotism, meaning that the parent company is Universal. If you guys can see this right here. The parent company right here is Universal. The founder is Elliot Grange, who I don't know if that's the dad or the son. That's the son. So this is the nepotism right here. He is the owner of 10K Projects. He's a music executive, y'all. He's a music executive. And if you want to know who he's a music executive of, he is the person who is behind Ice Spice. Now, let me just do this real quick. Elliot Grange, right? Who's his dad? Who's his daddy? Lucien Grange. That's his dad. You know who his dad is? His dad is the chairman, the CEO of Universal. Look at his dad right here. Look at his dad right here. That's his dad right there with Lionel Richie. You want to talk about nepotism? You want to talk about nepotism? That's his dad. His daddy right there on the Hollywood Walk of Fame with Lionel Richie. Okay, not to mention who else he probably works for. So his son, he gave his son a record company, right? His son, these are the guys who run the record industry, y'all. You surprised that the music sounds the way it does? I keep trying to tell you. So now that you know who's putting the money up and who's running the company, let's just go over the artists real quick. Ian Dior, right? Let's just check the artist roster real quick. Ian Dior, Ice Spice, Internet Money, Jalil, okay. Natalie Jane. I mean, I'm sure some of these artists are all right. I'm sure some of them are all right. Maybe. Trippie Redd. I mean, come on, man. How many of us are really listening to this? A lot of these artists on here are trash. I think we all can admit that. Okay? But the main point of why I'm bringing this up is because Ice Spice is on this label. And they're who's putting up the money. They're putting up the money. Okay? So that just brings me back to Ice Spice doing her thing, her getting a Grammy nomination. It's all fabricated, man. And they're paying for this, and they're paying for these streams, and they're paying for the music. So basically my point is that Academics, I think, met with these people, 10K Projects. He met with this guy. And this guy was like, hey, Ak, I really appreciate what you're doing and blah, blah, blah. And he's a young guy, man. He's only 30 years old. So obviously he knows what's up, you know. That's cool that he's got that following, right? You're going to want to have these people. And by the way, looks like they took him off the label, but it looks like he did Tekashi 6ix9ine too. So this was also the man that's behind Tekashi. Just reading the article a little bit. Nepotism at its finest. I just want to show y'all real quick that this is who's behind the music. It's not really him who's behind the music, though. It's really his dad. Who knows? Maybe he might be a real head and is like, yo, dad, this is the type of hip hop I want to put out. And his dad's probably like, no, son, we got to go with Ice Spice. We need a light-skinned black chick with a big ass that's going to go out there and manipulate the minds of other young black women and then try to, shit on the black man. That's the type of music that we need to make, son. Y'all better realize who's controlling the record industry. It's these guys. All these black artists making the music behind all these Jewish men that are running it. Damn it, y'all. Damn it, man. Sometimes I get frustrated when I go back and I look at these things. Sometimes I actually get frustrated. I get upset. So on that note, I think I'm about to head up out of here. I appreciate y'all. Wait, let me read some of your comments that came in. Thank you, Sadiq. I'm gonna see what you were saying. Yep, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, some of us got to be out here covering these topics. That's why, hopefully, Sadiq, you've subscribed to the channel, and hopefully you can like this video, man. I appreciate that because I've been seeing it sit on the 9 likes for a minute. So not sure if people have been jumping in, jumping off, but yeah, man, we're going to cover these topics, and that's what we do. And that's why we talk about this stuff. So I want to just say thank y'all, man, for tuning in. Maybe we might do another show a little bit later today. I'm going to try to see if we can do these streams as much as possible. I'm going to try to see the more content that we keep pushing out there, if the algorithm starts to change. It somewhat has, but sometimes it seems like it doesn't. So if you guys can please subscribe, but at least like the video so we can get these topics out here, because the more that you like these types of topics, the more that they get out there. Because, yeah, they don't want us talking about this. They don't want us talking about the fact that this is what's trending, but it's really not what's trending. And it makes you wonder that if Universal, like Tom MacDonald said to YouTube, hey, you know what? We don't care that they're selling more copies and that they got more hits and that they're getting way more traffic than us. You keep Megan Thee Stallion at #1 and don't change it, because if not, you're going to lose funding from us. So YouTube's probably like, okay, yeah, Universal gives us a lot of money, so whatever you do, just keep Megan Thee Stallion at #1 trending, because a lot of people probably are not going to go here and look at this. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go to the video, and then they're going to see this right here. They're going to see, oh, wow, 7 million views, and it's #1 trending for music. Oh, I should go download that. And I want to just do one other thing real quick before I get up out of here. Let me just look up Hiss real quick. I mean, I know if I look it up on a different screen, we can pull it up. But let me just look on Amazon real quick. Amazon Music. Let me see if they tell you on Amazon what the price is. So surprising that Charlemagne. Actually, it's not surprising that Charlemagne didn't ask. Jesus Christ. You got to sign in just to do all that? Oh, well, whatever. I ain't really tripping. But But I know that I did see a post. I think maybe Ben Shapiro had put it up where he was talking about the stats of how much they sold. Let me just see if I can find it real quick because I believe it was on his post. I mean, when I went to iTunes, I was able to see it. Let's just do that real quick. Give me a minute, y'all. That dude said, I make racks off of compound interest. Yeah, right here we can see the price. Okay. I believe that this is real. I don't think that he will lie about this. We can look this up later and fact check it. Facts. We can fact check the facts. But if you guys look carefully right here, you can see that Megan Thee Stallion dropped her price down to 69 cents. Interesting number. So she's selling it for less than $1. While Ben Shapiro and Tom MacDonald are selling those for $1.29. Nicki Minaj is still selling hers for $1.29. This was posted today, y'all. So what I'm trying to say is that Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro were going so viral that she had to drop the price down in order to compete with them. Basically, like damn near half the price. I'm trying to tell y'all that the system is in place. Also, on top of that, I wasn't even aware that you could drop your prices on Amazon or iTunes. I thought that once you put your single out there, that's it. Like, unless you got, I guess you got that kind of label connection. Maybe that's the benefit of being on a record company is that they can get in touch with iTunes like that and say, hey, you know what? Drop the price down 30 cents. Drop the price down. Actually, they dropped the price down about 60 cents. Almost a whole nother $1. You know what? Just take a whole $1 off of it because it's not even selling as much. They didn't want Megan Thee Stallion to come out with a song and then she gets pushed down to number 10, which brings up my other point about Taylor Swift having 280 million followers, but only 35,000 people registered to vote off of her influence, which makes me feel like she probably would only sell 35,000 records. And thank you for the like, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. So that's the point that I'm making here, man, is that there's definitely the powers that be and industry tactics that go on. You know? Thank you, Sadiq. I appreciate you. Creating OnlyFans vibes in music industry. Yep, that's all it is, man. Sell your soul. They want the artist to sell their soul, and then after the artists sell their soul, then they want to take your soul from listening to the music. This is why I try to tell people, you should be very aware of the content that you consume. As you can see right here, man, it's all about truth and love and knowledge right here. That's what we about right here. Shout out, man. Like I said, man, I do this for the culture. I don't just do this for the monetary gain, but it definitely helps because, hey, we got to pay for the Wi-Fi, right? Got to pay for the internet. I got to buy the equipment. I got to pay for this microphone. You know what I'm saying? I got to pay for the camera. How else am I going to get these things? Am I going to walk into Best Buy and say, hey, you know what? I'm this really courageous YouTuber and I have like a great idea. Is it possible that you guys can just give me all the equipment in here for free? And once I make 20 million, I'll pay you back. Now, I would do that. I would definitely do that. And I believe I can do that. But the question is will Best Buy take me on that, or they'll just be like, you know, hey man, I got to eat, man. I got kids. I got bills to pay. You got to buy this microphone. So this is how we do this, man. This is how we do this. So yes, of course it does help. Your help is very much appreciative. I appreciate all of y'all. Because we are doing this independently. And that's where I just want to shout out Tom MacDonald. Is that, yes, man, doing this independently, we should all be following their facts. We should be following their facts, man, and what they're dealing with the record industry and what they're dealing with and how this is just showing that, man, there are major politics that are going on right here. So I want to say, yes, thank y'all to y'all that like, subscribe, that were in the chats, that were commenting. that come to the channel to watch the other videos, whether, like I said, whether you agree or you disagree, I appreciate all the activity. Thank you so much, man. I think we pretty much covered everything. I mean, I feel like I still got more to talk about. So I don't know. Maybe this could be another video. I mean, I've already been on here for the last 2.5 hours. Yeah, man, there's definitely powers that be that are in place. I've been seeing Megan Thee Stallion and his trending since she put it out. And again, y'all, it's really not that dope. Like, it seriously is some serious trash. I cannot stand her lyrics going off beat. And I can't stand the Christina next. And I should be signed by Christina next. It's so whack. So whack, man. Please check out my next video with Eminem too. Is it time for Eminem to put the microphone down? That's gonna be the next subject. But yeah, man. Other than that, I thank y'all. And yeah, man. Let's pay attention. Let's pay attention. That'll be the next stream that we'll do. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. Peace.